Hello, this is Evan Rogerson. I'm Motorgang here, and earlier today, December 3rd, a new version of the game manual update dropped, so I'm just going to break that down real quick. It's a pretty small update, just a couple of things that are important. Please be sure to like and leave a comment in order to please the YouTube algorithm, and I'm a little bit under the weather right now, so apologies if this one isn't quite as detailed as some of the other ones. So starting off with, they added rule S5, which says that you need to have your consent form filled out, which was already a thing that RUCF had, now it's just in the manual officially, so that doesn't actually change anything. Next up, they added, or they expanded upon SC3B, which is 100% my fault, because I asked a Q&A that had a silly little setup with some rings going on here. And essentially, the old rules were not equipped to handle something like this. So they clarified it to say, like, if there's a ring that could be top rings on multiple stakes, then none of those rings count as scored at all. Because previously it was just, like, removed. Well, does that mean, like, you don't count as scored at all? Does that mean it just doesn't get the top ring bonus? So now it's being clarified. So if you ever see this come up in a match, you should be good to go. All right, next up, they added a little thing to SC5A, saying that the mobile goal, if the stake or the flexible top is touching, like, the floor in the corner, it doesn't count as in the corner, which I'm not sure why they needed to add this, because if the stake were touching the corner, then you would assume that it would not be, like, above the top of the perimeter. So I don't know, maybe there's some weird way you could cram that in there, but I don't know, I'm sure something happened. So I don't really think that changes anything at all. Next up, just clarifying that you must start contacting one preload, not maximum of one preload. You start contacting your preload. Yeah, I'm not sure why people aren't trying to use your preloads, but you do have to start touching your preload, so use it. Small change. So for like the SG7, which is like don't cross the autonomous line, but like you're allowed to interact with neutral stakes in the neutral rings. Well, they clarified that you're allowed to interact with the portions of the ladder that start above the autonomous line. Which was not there previously. So I guess you could have made the argument before, like if a team goes to touch the ladder, like up against like the tower support that's right on the auto line, you could argue, I guess, in the previous version that wasn't allowed. But now it's clarified, yes, you can touch the ladder as long as it's on the stuff that's like on the neutral part. So I guess big win for the people who want that high stake and auto bonus, I guess. Good luck on your tier 3 hang with high stake and auto. Now this one, I think you like this was somewhere else already, but as of October 1st, you cannot use anodized metal or any like dyed parts or anything in events in mainland China, because teams in China cheat and they buy parts that look like the Vex parts, but it's a lot easier to make it look like a Vex part when it's a different color, and like you can say that, oh, I dyed it or oh, I anodized it. So now you have to use just the basic Vex parts, no coloring them, and this is only in mainland China events. So this isn't going to affect the vast majority of teams. But hot take, if you need to implement special rules for a certain event region because they're having a problem with cheating, maybe that event region shouldn't be competing alongside the other ones, because I know it's quite disheartening when the team that wins High School Worlds was caught cheating earlier in the season, and who knows if they were actually cheating at High School Worlds, but they did it before, and who knows if they do it again. Kind of a random thing, but if you're the head referee, you can't be the judge advisor or the event partner. That was already like a thing, they just put it in the manual now. There was a bit of discussion on Discord about like if you could place, like if you show up late to a match, could you place your robot down in the field in between autonomous and driver control? And this was Q&A, and no, if you show up late to a match, you cannot place down your robot at any point during the match and get it set up. And this is a funny little addition. You can see specifically right there, any blue rings encircled on the stake of a mobile goal that leaves the field should remain on the stake when returned to the field, for skills specifically. Because, as this rule says, there's no penalty for removing mobile goals or rings from the field during a skills match. So some teams thought it would be an idea to, in order to descore the blue rings, if you throw the goal out of the field with a blue ring on it, could it be returned with a blue ring not on it? Which I think that's the way that it originally read, is yes, you could, the scorekeeper or whatever would take the blue ring off and set it back down. But now it's clarified that you can't just throw mobile goals out of the field. GDC just had to nerf the Mogo catapult again. It's just been getting nerfed all season, but I truly do believe that there's still meta in there somewhere. And small update for Vex U Buddy Climb, which I do love me a good Vex U Buddy Climb buff. So the robot doesn't actually have to be, I mean, there was a Q&A a while ago that said that you're protected when you're hanging, not once you're like off the ground, but once you're like contacting the ladder and grabbed onto it, just to make it easier to hang. And this Q&A essentially says that if you are the buddy robot that's contacting the robot that is contacting the ladder, you're considered protected even before you're like off the ground. Alright, so I think that wraps it up. Next update is a big one, version 3 on January 28th. So that'll probably have some big major changes. That was the type of update that last year they removed the yellow cap for over-under, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of changes there. Alright, well, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.